More shear work, I feel like. I have both licenses though. Like I went to school twice. I didn't know what the difference between barbering was or cosmetology when I signed up for hair school originally because I used to just shave my head back in the day. Because I used to restore classic cars and drive a forklift before I did any of this. So I was in my warehouse and my boss was getting transferred to a different store. And he's like, "Hey, Fern, come in the office. I want to talk to you." I was like, "What's up?" He's like, "I want you to take my spot as supervisor for the night shift." And I was like, all right, so I'm thinking about, like, does this guy own a house? What kind of car is he driving? Because if that's going to be me in the future, then that's kind of what I have to look forward to, right? And I kind of panicked. So I was like, let me think about it. So I get off work that morning. I'm driving home. I'm at a stoplight. And all these girls, there's probably like 12 or 13 of them, are crossing the street dressed in all black. And they are carrying these metal. They look like toolboxes, right? They're all chromed out. They're pretty good size. And they're just dragging them. I was like, where are they going? They look cool. So then they're going into a hair school. So I was like, I'm going to do hair. So as soon as they got out of the way, I pull in the parking lot. Walked up to the front desk. I was like, "Hey, can I get an application to come to school here?" The lady's like, "Yeah, sit down. We'll give you a tour of the campus." I was like, "No, I just want the application because I wanted to get in and out as fast as I could because I felt super weird being in that environment because I was used to just being in a warehouse just full of dudes, and now it's like the opposite. It's like a bunch of girls. It's all loud, makeup." So I grabbed the application, went home, filled it out, and a month later I was in a classroom learning how to roll a perm rod. And that's how I got into this whole hair thing. I'm one of those people that believe everything happens for a reason. I don't think there's such thing as coincidences. So I think I was supposed to have that conversation, and if it would have been a group of anything else, that's what I would have been. Baker, chef, Fern, the dentist, whatever the case may be. Is like, it was the first thing that I saw, and so that's what I just jumped on. Fern, the forklift driver. Yeah. Like I didn't wake up, I want to be a hairdresser or a barber. Like it was just the first thing that I saw, and I just went to it.
So you did cos first, and then you went barber?
Yeah, so I did cos first. So I had my license for 4 years. I had my cos license for 4 years, and then a guy comes in. He's like, "I want a zero fade," right? So I'm mentoring one of these cosmetologists, and then so cosmetologists get clippers in their kit, but they're always taught scissors over comb in the school, right? So she gets her clippers and she puts a zero guard. I goes, give me your zero guard. So I put the zero guard on. We make that first cut, and I tell the guy, he's like, "Is that gonna be short enough? We'll kind of blend it from there." He's like, "No, I want shorter than that." I was like, "I thought you wanted a zero." He's like, "No, we'll take the guard off the thing." So I was like, "All right." So I take the guard off, and we make the first cut, and it's just like skin. And I was like, "Oh dang!" So we kind of just faked this whole haircut together, and then the client left with not the best haircut. And I felt that I just failed at my job as an instructor, right? Because when I'm working with the kids on the floor, like my job is like if they get stuck, they raise a hand. I go over there, get them back on track, and everything's good. For that situation, I didn't have the skills. I didn't know how to use a tool properly. I feel like I just failed. So when the client left, I went to the back office, and I'm looking on the computer where the closest barber college was, and it was in Anaheim, California. It was called the Real Barbers College. So then, after my shift was over, I drove down to Anaheim that night, signed up for school. The lady's like, "You want to do a crossover program?" It was 400 extra hours, right? Because cosmetology at the time was 1,600 hours, barbering was 1,500 hours. So I was like, no, I'm not going to learn it. And I didn't want the license. I wanted to learn how to actually do the haircut. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to learn this in 400 hours. I was like, sign me up for school. So she signs me up for the whole program. So I was in school for another 2 years doing barbering. That's how I got into this whole barbering program. And then what's cool is Paul Mitchell has a barbering program now. Did you guys go to Paul Mitchell in here? No? So they have a barber program now, but we used to. And then what happened was our school was getting too big. We had too many students, not enough places to put the kids. So we needed a bigger building. So we went and bought a bigger building. And the guys like going over like, we need to have a town hall. So we bring in all the staff and they're talking about how the layout of the building is going to go, right? So this is going to be our esthetician program. It's our clinic floor. These are our classrooms. This is our barbering section. I was like, wait, barbering section? And they're like, yeah, we're going to have a barber program. I was like, we are? And they're like, yeah, since you just finished barber college and got your license, it's all fresh in your brain. You're going to figure out how this is all going to work. So it took me 4 years to figure out this curriculum. And then once we got it all right, we launched it to all the schools, and that's how the whole barbering thing got born. So again, everything happens for a reason. So if that client wanted to come in, Paul Mitchell wouldn't have a barber program, basically. All right. Any other thing you guys want to ask?
Do you think having one, do you think it's worth going to do the other? I mean, I know that might be like a weird question, but like, do you think me as a barber, do you think it would be worth it to go back and be like, let me do my Cosmo?
It depends if you're going to use it. Like,
Right.
like for me, like I think that I'm always like, yes, go back, because you're gonna obviously in Cosmo you're gonna focus on more longer lengths of hair. You're gonna learn. You're gonna focus more on like styling hair. And you're gonna focus more on like color, like color formulation, things like that. But if you're not gonna, if you just want to learn it just to learn it, I mean you could. But even for me, like I went to extension. I did this extension class, Bellamy extension class. And I thought I wanted to learn how to do it just because I wanted to learn how to do it, and it was a waste of money. I learned how to do it, but then I never really did it. But if so, I don't know. Like if you're not planning on going to a salon and you're trying to just stay in the barbershop, you're rarely gonna get those kind of clients. Right. I mean, you're better off just taking more of an advanced class, maybe like a 3-day or a week-long class to learn how to do those types of haircuts rather than going through the whole program again.
Yeah, that was kind of my question. Like I've kind of been debating on if like I want to do that or if I just want to go to like sessions like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it's just like let me get a day or two out of it and just learn something, or should I actually like dive deep into it?
If you're trying to go into the salon and do it, then I would do it. But if not, and the same thing with the barber, with the Cosmos asking the same question. Like, I got my Cosmos license, should I go to barber school? I'm like, do you want to work in a barber shop? And if the answer is yes, then yeah, go get your license. But if there is no, then I was like, then you're better off going and learning like, because the only way barbering is a little bit different than cos, because the only way you learn is by messing up barbering, and then you learn not to do that again. So it's a little different than cosmetology. So like, I tell my cosmetology students, go work in a supercuts, a gray clips, somewhere where they have a high volume of that kind of clients. So that way they're making money and they're learning at the same time.
I think my eventual plan is like, I know I want to have a shop, but
Yeah.
I think if I were to go do the Cosmo stuff, I think I want to be able to have a space where I can do both.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I'm just curious if you think like with me having something like a vision like that,
Yeah.
would it be worth it?
Yeah, definitely would. All right, name one more time. Tyler, cool. All right, so Tyler's the model today. Let's give a round of applause for Tyler, right? No model, no hair, no model, no class, so thank you, Tyler, for being the model. So let's see what we're gonna do first. I like to basically kind of see what he has going on. So basically the length of his hair is just the very top part, right? All the underneath is pretty much shorter. I'll turn him so you guys can see. All right, so free range. So basically, there you go. All right, so what I'm gonna do first is I'm probably gonna work the top. Maybe I'll take the top a lot shorter, but then I'll still want it to be long enough to kind of flow into the back. So I like the length in the back, or like, but I don't want to like take it all like, you know, like super short. She still wants to keep it pretty long, so I'm probably just gonna do more of like
Do we have an inspo pick?
no.
So you keeping it more disconnected, or are you connecting? Or?
I'm gonna probably keep it connected, but I'm gonna do more like maybe like more like of a mod mullet kind of type of thing.
Yeah, you can get the sides as short as you want. Like my whole head's tatted too, so I don't mind if the sides are short. I don't know how you want to fade that in.
What about the top though? Like the length up here?
Yeah, you could take some of the top down if you want, or however you want to do it. I don't know. Just, dude, I throw paint on canvases. I'm not a barber.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
But are you down to wear this down kind of, or?
I believe in you. Hardcore. Bro, I watched your Instagram till about 3 in the morning last night. You got this.
All right. I was gonna go for it.
I seen the Paul Mitchell and I'm like, that'll do it.
All right, we're just gonna go for it. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Scissors that I'm using for this haircut is HHP. This is my basically my workhorse scissor, my day-to-day. I use this scissor in every single one of my cuts. This is the scissor that I did the majority of my cuts with. Do you have a regular? Right here. It looks a lot different than a traditional style scissor, yeah? Traditional style shear, HHP. There's a convex and a concave blade on here versus a traditional style shear is more like traditional V, yeah? The benefit of this scissor here is I'm able to use the entire length of the tip of the scissor from tip all the way to pivot screw. So if there's a section here that flowed in the length of this blade, I can close it, and it's going to be a flat line. Versus if I were to try to use any other scissor, try to use the whole blade, what's going to happen is it's going to go straight, and it's going to start to kick out like a little skateboard ramp. But that's how Japanese scissors are designed. That's what it's supposed to do. This is more of a special type scissor. This one's designed to have zero push, so it allows me to just get to the haircuts a lot quicker. I've had this scissor for 5 years. I've never sharpened it over 5, probably close to 6 years now. I've never sharpened it once. and I'm still getting super crispy, blunt lines out of it, like the day I bought it out of the box. Probably should get sharpened because there is probably like 6 nicks in it, but maybe seven or
6
eight. I don't
within
know.
the first inch, and then there's
Yeah,
another
it's like-
13.
But it's still like, you'll see, it's still cutting, it's not pushing the hair around or nothing. So this is what I'm using for this haircut. The reason why I haven't had to sharpen it yet is one is yes, because of the design, right? But two is because I use it correctly. In barber college, my students are constantly coming up to me like, hey Fern, my scissors need to be sharpened already. I was like, you just got them. And they're like, yeah, but when I'm cutting, the hair's pushing. I was like, well, let me see what you're doing. So my barbers are brand new and they get to have it sticking their thumb too far into the thumb hole like that, right? And when I try to teach my kids, still blade, moving blade, but if your thumb is so far in, what's gonna happen is the kids are gonna close right when they get to right here, the strain happens on this tendon, so naturally the kids are gonna wanna do this. They're going to move both of those blades. As soon as both of these blades start to move at the same time, the hair is gonna slide because you're moving both blades, especially when they're up top, right? When they're up top and when this finger is pointing down towards the scalp, it's impossible to keep this blade still, and what's gonna happen, it's gonna do this. The barber's gonna cut, and they're always gonna cut twice. It's gonna sound like this. They're always cutting 2 times, not even realizing they're cutting twice, because they're chasing that line. So the first way I train my students to hold their scissor correctly is I have them take everything out, and then they, almost like a finger gun, they put their pointing finger right underneath this pivot screw on the H, and they're gonna turn the scissor horizontal or parallel with the floor. Now they're gonna use the corner or the edge part of the thumb to open and close the blade. So now when they get to the top, they can pick up a section, next section, so they don't have to do the 1, 2 anymore. They get to the layers a lot faster, or if you're cutting length, they'd be doing this here. So length and layers is the first way I train them to hold the scissor, and the second way is I have to take everything out, angle it. Now they're gonna angle it inward. Now they're using more of the top part of the thumb to open and close the blade. So every time they're cutting in hand, right? Scissor over comb, point cutting, or backhand cutting are in that position there. So depending on what technique they're doing is determine how they're holding their scissor correctly. If you hold your scissor correctly, they're gonna get longer life out of your scissors because every time you sharpen it, it gets smaller and skinnier, and they're gonna get faster at the haircuts because they're covering a lot more coverage every time they close it because the hair's not being pushed around. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And they're getting better life out of their own body because every time they do this, right, this happens, you're creating restriction of blood flow to your hand, and then this is going to start to burn out because you're going to get like arthritis or whatever. So, questions on holding the shear?
What shear do you prefer, 6 inch or 5?
6.5, yeah. I was taught, again, I went to cosmetology first, so I was taught you want to be a craft haircutter or a precision haircutter, you need a small scissor. And then I'm in my suite one day cutting hair, and I used to cut with the 5-inch shear, right? Because I thought like, I'm going to be like the most precision type of hair cutter. So I'm in there, and then I'm cutting a bob one day, and then all of a sudden it's like common sense just kicks in. I'm like, wait a second. If I'm cutting a bob, right, and I were to take that line, stretch it out, it's like this long, right? Why am I using something so small to cut such a long line? Why don't I use something longer, just bang it out a lot quicker, right? And sometimes I was using such a small scissor that I was like, sometimes I'd be thinking that this is straight, but by the time I got to here, it's really angling, but I couldn't really tell it was angling because my scissor was so short. Now I use a longer shear, it's almost like a level, and I can know if it's angling or if it's not. I'm covering a lot more coverage, and I'm just banging through that line a lot faster than with something super small. Make sense? In school, I was taught you cut hair wet, you blow dry it, and do all the rest dry. So I used to do that. I used to cut like that in the salon, in the shop when I was done. But then I'm like doing the haircut, blow drying it. I'm like, why do I feel like I'm cutting this again when it's dry? Why don't I just do this now? So now the client comes. I feel like it's cutting the hair twice. And now the client comes in, I shampoo them, blow them out, and then cut them once, and then send them on their way. So I'm not using my time a little bit more efficiently, right? So I always tell everyone, like, ask why. Especially if you're a student and you're still in school, you always got to get the why. Don't just do it because their teacher told them to, because that's what I did, and then I just wasted a lot of time.
So you always cut long hair dry?
I cut everything dry most of the time. Yeah. Yep.
This is the thing, when you have the right tool and the right density of steel, you can, without crushing the hair, it actually, there's a big difference. If you're that person that nerds out on this kind of stuff, I'll show you what it looks like, magnified 3,000 times. Cutting dry hair with a brand new, very sharp, wet cutting shear versus what the scissor Fern uses on dry hair. It turns it into glass. It's perfectly smooth.
But then it's going to blend.
You can tell if your hair's been crushed or cut simply by feeling the ends where it passes through your fingers. If you feel a slight tug when the hair passes through, your hair's not been cut. Someone crushed it off you. So then we'll lie to clients, especially like in the salon, be like, Goat's been
front
chewing
of
on
my
your
hair,
hair. We're gonna have to get you
the
this
front of my
serum
hair,
and this
my bag up here
conditioner
is
and
kinda
then
shorter than
give them
the
a
rest of
deep
it.
conditioning treatment and then book them
So
out for
my
another
first
4
barber
weeks to
ate
do
my
the same
fucking
shit
hair.
again.
Okay.
So
Stop breaking the
that'll
hair.
probably work out good
Just
too.
cut it. There's a big difference when it comes to steel grade because you can get a lower angle.
All right. The most common ways people will cut the tops in the shop is they'll either cut it flat, square, wherever it came from. They'll cut it round, more of a 90, or they'll cut it more angled this way. And those are pretty much the most 3 common ways that people will cut the tops when it comes to cutting shorter hair. Like, well, it's going to be short when it comes to cutting shorter hair. Would you guys agree with that? Okay, so depending on how he's going to wear his hair is going to determine how I'm going to cut my cutting line angle. So if he's going to wear his hair down, for instance, I'm never going to cut anything square on top. I won't cut anything flat. The why is because if I cut something flat on top and he pushes his hair forward, now you have all this weight that just shifts in the front, and that ends up being way too heavy. And you got to go do a lot of whatnot to remove it. So if he's going to wear his hair forward, I'm always cutting everything more at a 90, right? So the weight distribution from here and the weight distribution from the front is the same. So that way when it falls down, it's going to, from the side view, it's going to look not heavier or in one area than the other. And since it's all cut at the same length, it's going to lay like shingles on a roof. So this is going to start to look very textured without you even having to go in there and do any type of point cutting, right? And very rarely as I do this angle here. I'll do this angle like if I'm doing more of like extreme pomp, something like that. But if they are going to wear their hair back to the side or split down the middle, then I'll keep it flat. Because if I cut it at a 90 and they wear their hair back or to the side, now they're going to use a lot of product to kind of hold it because this is all short and the hair is going to want to keep doing that. Does that make sense? All right, question about anything? All right, let's get into this. So I'm just going to come in. I'm going to take my first section from the middle.
Sharing is caring. You have to do that. You can't.
Here we go.
You said when you cut the top, like box or something, like straight, you do
Yeah.
that all the way through? Or just in that
Hey,
that
get in there.
first cut?
It doesn't smell bad.
You're not doing nothing like this?
No. Unless it's like super extreme. If it's like a lot of length and they're taking it like maybe to a fade in the back, then I'll have to angle it this way.
Right, what about comb over? You don't angle it
No, come over, I'll keep it flat.
all the way through?
And I let the length, and I let the head kind of, because the head's rounding, so that it gives me the length in the front. Because otherwise, if I comb it over, if I angle it in, then this ends up being too long, and I end up flattening it out anyways. But yeah. So this one I'm gonna cut more at 90. So I'm gonna come in. My first section is always my most important section because everything's built off of section 1. If section 1 is off, then the whole hairhead's going to be off. All right, so come in.
Yo, this wind gets violent up here like this, right?
Not like this.
This is not common.
No, this is the first time.
That's
just like
it's springtime.
the spirit of like clients that's passed already. Chuck, joining us.
The Karens you had to cut.
Yeah.
All right, kind of see where this is it.
So how'd you know where you wanted to start, Fern? I mean, you just guessed a couple inches up.
Yeah. If the client's like, I want it to be right here. Let's say the client's like, I want the hair to be fall like right at this point here. Like I want it to be like right at this eyebrow. Then I would have him, right here, he's like, yeah. Then I would cut it, and I would use that as a clue or a guide, elevate it up, and use this, and then boom, build off of it. But again, free range, I have a little bit more freedom. So I'm just gonna kind of go based off of what I think looks best. I'm gonna take this a little bit shorter even.
So you are very structured with your partings and things like that then? Because it's tougher, I feel like, to move through dry hair than it is wet, correct?
Yeah, the reason why we show the kids cut hair wet, do you know why we show them cut hair wet versus dry?
I don't, because
Easier section.
It's easier to control the hair. Yep, exactly. When the hair is wet, it's easier for the kids to section it out, panel it off. In my shop, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing like, when I teach it, I have to do that way. But in real life, you're not cutting that. I don't think you guys might, but I don't do that because it's going to take like 40 minutes to do a haircut, right? So, but in my head, I'm grabbing hair, but in my mind, the sections are still there. The blueprint's still in my mind. So I'm literally, you'll see me grabbing. It looks like I'm grabbing and cutting, but in my head, I know exactly where this section is coming off if I'm elevating it, if I'm pulling it forward or backward. It's still in my head, but it's not like, I'm not like, you know, like on the videos, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the sectioning of long hair is what I don't do very well with.
Like if you want to see it, okay. Normally I would do this dry, but just I don't know where everyone's at skill wise. Let me see water. Is there a water bottle like using there?
There's one around, for sure.
I'm gonna spray the top just so you can see this because I don't know where everyone's at like skill wise. So I'm just gonna kind of do this, just so that way we can kind of see. It'll be a little bit easier for you'll be able to see it better from the back of the room. Towel that I can use. Towel. Yeah. He's gonna grab one. That one's good. Cool.
So when you work from the front, you kind of have your point to where you stop when it comes to the very
Yeah.
around and things. And,
Let's do this. I don't know what none of this is gonna have to re-dry. It's gonna take time. All right, so this will be. So what do you paint, dude? You just paint like cars? Or you paint?
Nah, we actually do graffiti and stuff like that.
What's you
And-
paint walls?
Yeah, we actually Dayton they didn't let us last year. I actually got arrested during it because they didn't know, but we did the second largest street graffiti mural festival in the country on accident. And then this year, we got,
accident.
yeah, we didn't even mean to do it that big. Like, we had like over 130 artists, I think,
Yeah.
from all over the world that like actually ended up coming and getting a little space over the walls. But we got twice as many walls this year, so we're planning on really making it the biggest one.
That's
But
sick.
yeah, we do a lot of graffiti work. Like, we took a older style art district here in the city and
Yeah.
kind of brought it newer life, I guess you could say.
I think graffiti's like, I think that it seems easy, but it's not, bro. Because
Well-
you got to think of the future because you're thinking of all these layers of. It's
Yeah.
not like you're
And
just
it's
like
not
going in there
even-
and painting.
We don't even take it as graffiti. We do more of like the street murals. So we
Yeah.
kind of look at it more of more art. I mean, graffiti is definitely an art in itself,
Yeah.
100%. But I feel like the more murals to it, like people are like introducing more like realism to more graffiti art too, and it's sweet because like you see it in the bigger cities now, like in Chicago and stuff. I went up to Chicago and seen a graffiti mural festival up there, and the stuff that they do is just fucking wild. And
is that the
compared.
stuff with like the faces with the trees coming out. With, like,
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. We got on First Street, we have the bridges. I don't know if y'all know where those birds are, but there's birds on the bridges right there, the railroad tracks, like almost down by downtown off Kiwi. But all those walls we painted, we're getting over by the silos.
So do you get contracted or?
No, we just do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we have fundraisers. Like we had a fundraiser last on the first Friday, and we raised enough money to buy the paint to buff all of the walls out in the city that have graffiti on them or have tags and stuff like that. Like, cause there's stuff that's bad too that kids just randomly do.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go black out all of that and have a bunch of artists come in and donate their time and put good pieces up that'll actually bring vibrance to the city. And it's
That's
not
awesome
like,
to hear.
yeah, and we'll kind of control it to where there's not spaces where kids can come in and write obscenities and all kinds of crazy stuff. So, and we're putting dope ass artwork out there for just sweet. It's crazy.
I went to last March. I went to Berlin, Germany, and they're like super into graffiti out there.
Hmm.
And, like they have like so much. And it's like
Germany has some
everywhere.
crazy
bro, it's
graffiti
like, you
shops.
just walk around. It's just everywhere. It's so sick.
Yeah, they got some crazy. Out in Europe, they have like the paint shops that have like the cans of spray paint and stuff. Germany has some crazy shops.
All right, so right now I'm just coming in, and I'm just pivoting off of right here, this little background area, and I'm just making small little triangles. Again, 5 years old, almost 6 now. Again, these scissors are just no
Oh, I don't even
push.
feel them.
You can hear it.
Yeah, I can barely hear it
You
though.
can still hear it. They sound brand new, honestly.
Yeah. They're expensive though, right? Again, you get what you pay for in life. Like these scissors save me time behind the chair because I can being dual license. I do a lot of men, women. I'm doing a lot of bobs. My clientele has ponytails like that thick. So it used to take me like 40 minutes to do service, especially like a nice precision haircut. Now I'm banging my haircuts out in like 15, 20 minutes fast because I'm able to cut through a lot of hair one time. Like this thing can literally cut through a ponytail the width of a soup can. I can open up, close it, boom, it's gonna be completely straight. There's gonna be no curve or kick whatsoever. So it allows me to fit extra haircuts in a day easier, allowing me to make more money a year.
I seen some of your bob work on there. I was definitely on it last night thinking about it. I feel like relic. The bobs are crazy though.
They're sick.
Dude, they're sick. I ain't gonna lie. I'm telling you, I was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning looking at your Instagram. I was like, what the fuck? This is sweet. I was shocked.
So what do you like to do, Fern? More male, female? Doesn't matter to you when it comes to...
It doesn't matter. Like it depends on who like everyone asks me, like, what's your favorite haircut to do, or what's your favorite haircut? Like, it matters who. Like for me, it matters who's in the chair. Like the whole service. It could just be a basic trim, but like at the like you guys had a good conversation. The vibe was all cool, and like that was a cool service. Like that was like the best service of the whole day, and it was barely like anything. So like I think it's that rather than the actual like haircut itself. Like if I was just sitting at home cutting a doll head though, I would say like probably like a bob. And the reason why is because it's either right or it's not. There's no like in between,
That's when
right?
I went to hair school was bobs, and they're just the hardest haircut, just like flat tops, I feel.
Yeah, so my male clientele is a flat top to cut because it's either flat or it's not. There's no in between, right?
I feel like flat top clientele can be some of the most pickiest but easiest clients at the same time, though, you know what I mean? Like, they really just want it super balded out and then a surfboard off the front of their head, you know, so.
Yeah. Well, my instructor or my school owner for the Anaheim Barber College, she was an old like Navy guy. So all his buddies would come in. They're all old and retired, but they would still have like the full on like flat horseshoe in the middle. So he really made sure like we knew how to cut those haircuts before. Like that was like the first haircut.
I haven't even done one since barber school.
Yeah.
To be real.
That dude still goes there.
Yeah. And that's it, yeah. It's hard to find someone to do them, you know, it really is around here, I feel like.
I'm sure a few of us have cut the same flat top, to be honest with you.
I only cut it once, I don't ever want to do another one. They come to that door, I'm like, you're just about to leave, bud.
All right, so I think this length is looking good, and it's even blending in with this length on the side. You know what I mean? Another benefit of cutting from the side versus cutting from behind. Right, a lot of times I'll either cut from behind or from the side, depending on what I want to focus on more. For this haircut, I want it to be less maintenance. I want it to be like basically he'll be able to just get out of the shower, put a little bit of conditioner or whatever, towel dry, and just let it air dry. And so I want it to look the best, mostly in its natural form. So any type of those haircuts, I like to cut from the side, right? Because now I'm more in control of what the haircut looks like from the silhouette. Because now I'm more in control of what I'm doing from the silhouette. Versus if I were standing in the back, now I'm more in control of what's looking like from this dimension. Right? I'm not really having so much control as what's happening from over there because I'm not cutting over there. So anytime the client's gonna wear his hair back to the side, then I'll usually cut from behind and do the whole thing. Because usually I'm cutting more of a square shape on top. Does that make sense?
So these sections where you're pivoting from the crown, you would only do that with this type of forward cut, right? You wouldn't. For like the forward haircut, you're pivoting off the crown. You said you're kind of making triangles.
Yeah.
Would you do that with just that, like the haircut where it's going to lay forward?
Mostly,
Something
yeah.
like that?
Because if I was gonna wear something flat or square, then I'll come through, cut a mohawk section or center section, bring it up. I would still cut my guide from the side, pick the length, but then I would come back from the back and I would cut it, matching it from the middle. So yeah, you're right. Yep.
And Fern, I see you go and you just blunt cut everything. Do you come back in texture? Is that how you work?
Yep.
Or, okay.
And the reason why is because now there's structure underneath this foundation, right? If I were to come in and just point cut the whole thing, right? End result would look very similar, but then it would grow out and probably 6 weeks, right? Now there's structure underneath it. He'll be able to grow this thing out for a whole year if you want to, because there's solid foundation underneath it, yeah?
I really don't do much with my hair besides, throw it in my beanie and walk out.
So maybe you just answered that for him, but like, since he's wearing his hair down, and
Uh-huh.
that's how you're sectioning it, what if somebody was doing like a slick back haircut?
I'd cut it more flat.
You would just cut
Or
it
square.
but you would still section it off the same way?
No, I would do a mohawk section.
Okay, in the middle like that?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Cut my guide flat,
Okay,
and then come back. So my guide, so it would look like this. So I'd have my first section here,
okay.
and then I would come through. So if this is my first section, I mean it's not in the middle, but just pretend it's in the center for
Yeah.
a second.
Uh-huh.
I would cut the guide, boom, and then I would come in, pick a side, brush it all over, come in, and I would pick up and whatever was there, I would use that as a guide and just cut this flat. But so this one, but again, this one's not flat; it's more,
Okay,
it's curvy. But
okay,
yeah,
okay.
is that kind of how you guys usually do it, anyways? I feel it's the most common way barbers will cut the tops. It's hard to get lost.
I was always cut like a circle.
Yeah.
You know, maybe so like June first, just third.
All right, so I have one more section on the front. I'm gonna dry this. So I'm gonna need to dry it now, just to dry it before I add in all the texture at the top. Will dry reach up here, or am I gonna have to switch chairs?
You got a dryer that'll reach.
We got, give him one of the automatic ones.
You got a cordless blow dryer?
I mean, it's not the best, but it will probably do it.
It's Kickstart. You haven't seen those yet? They got cordless flat irons too. You'll get shredded. Those things weigh like 30 pounds. Battery lasts like 10 minutes. You gotta get two. Thanks, Dyson. Dicks. Yep.
Record the blood dry, that's pretty fresh content right there.
So for when it comes to like the back of the head, because there's like always have your cowlicks and everything going crazy with that. How do you judge? Do you do more like square or do you do more rounded with it?
The cowlick?
Yeah, like just that back area that you're gonna clean at.
It's got like a little one. That's kind of where I built. Usually where the cowlick is usually where I pivot everything off of. So sometimes the cowlick will be over here. My pivots are coming off of here throughout the whole top. I always cut with the cowlick and never against it. So let's say for instance the hair that's growing forward, right? I don't bring it back and connect it just so it'll reach, and I don't take the hair that's growing down and bring it up just so it'll reach. So I know it doesn't live there. Right, so at the end of the service, this length and this length might be different, right? But technically, but visually, it's gonna look good. Because if I were to cut everything the same length, and this is what my barbers do, everything has to match. Everything's got to be the same length. Now you're letting his bone structure determine what the silhouette looks like. Same thing with guards. Like I never let my barbers use anything bigger than 2 or 3 guard, because the reason why is because if he were to run a 2 guard on the side of his head, right, and Tyler's head went like this, and you run a 2 or 3 on the side, now that same silhouette is going to live on the outside, and they're going to have to go back there and reshape it. So anything bigger than a 1.5 guard, I let them either create the shape with either clipper over comb, scissor comb, so that way they're in control of what the silhouette looks like, rather than letting the bone structure determine. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Because you can put the same haircut on somebody, but it doesn't look the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, some people didn't get tummy time as a baby, so the back of their head is flat.
Yeah.
You know.
Bone structures in the head, stuff like that.
You get someone like me who's got this crazy ass world. So don't cut it off. You let it
Another thing, I don't know, like you guys, our barbers here, we're in Stone, Ohio, right? Are barbers allowed to do chemical services here or no? No. Oh, they are? Okay, so one option for when it's running the cowlick thing, right? A lot of clients will come in and be like, yeah, my cowlick sucks. Do whatever you can with it. And then an option would be you tell the client, why don't you just get rid of it? And they're like, what do you mean? It's like, I can get rid of it for you and it'll take 10 minutes, 10 extra minutes. And they're like, all right. It's literally what I'll have my barbers do is they'll take the chemical relaxer straight out of the tub, put it on this. But the only thing is when it comes to when it comes to doing that, the student or the barber has to constantly be breaking those disulfide bindings the whole 10 minutes. So they can't just put it on and think it's good because they gotta constantly breaking it. So they break it, 10 minutes, wash it out, and now the cowlick's gone. And the client's like, oh shit, I didn't know you can even do that. Right? And so even with the front, some clients' hair grows like this, just relax that front part down. Right? So that way now they can have those kind of services. Now your ticket just went from a haircut to now a haircut and chemical service, and now you're making way more money off of that same client for an extra 10 minutes.
How long does that last then?
Forever. Until it grows out. And the thing is, huh? No, it's because you're permanent. It lasts until it just grows out and you end up cutting it off. So like a lot of clients think they need to have it done every time, but they don't, right? But you don't tell them that, so you do it every single time they come in to get their hair done. And now you're just making way more money off each client. And the thing is with the chemical relaxer on long hair, you don't want to overlap relaxer because every time you overlap relaxer, the hair gets shorter or the diameter gets. You're stripping the cuticle layers off, so it starts getting skinnier, and then it breaks off. But since you're working with the fabric so short, it doesn't even matter. So you can overlap for forever, and by the time it's just going to be cut off anyway. So that makes sense.
Do you have to base a scalp?
Huh?
Like, do you have to base a scalp?
I don't. I mean, the rules, I try to get it as close as I can.
Okay.
I'm not putting it directly on the scalp, but I'm trying to be like.
Because I've seen it, but it's more perming is what I've seen. You know, something like that with the cowlicks.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So now I'm going to come in. There's a couple hairs that I missed from it being clipped up. I'm going to make sure I got all those. And then I'm going to add texture into the haircut, right? If you're going to add texture into hair, right, if you want to break up a line, what's a technique you would do normally to texturize the top in the barbershop? Point cut, right? Same. Everyone does that. And the reason why everyone does it is because it works. But one thing that you can do, like keep doing the technique, but again, I always tell my students, like switch up, there's a tool that's designed to use that better than what you're using. Because my students, they get a blending scissor and a straight cutting scissor, and that's all they know, right? Even when they get out of school, right? They're forcing their shears to do a job that it's not really meant to do, right? When I went to hair school, I got something like this, and I got a regular, well, it was 5-inch scissor, but let's just pretend it's a regular 5-inch shear. A blending shear, and this scissor here, right? My cut instructors like, Fern, here at this school, I'm gonna train you to cut hair the proper and correct way. You can do everything with this scissor here. Keep this in your kit. You don't need that. I'll show you how to cut hair right. I was like, all right, I believed them, I trusted them. I graduated school. Knowing I use this, but this I barely picked up, right? But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, why did they give us these and I never learned how to use them? Even clients call these thinners. Like, oh, I don't want the thinners in my hair as soon as you pull these out, right? It wasn't until I became an instructor that I saw the pattern of what's happening in the schools was the reason why he didn't show me how to use this because he was never trained. He didn't know how to use it, so he never shows the kids how to use it. Now the kids have a tool they don't know how to use because their instructor didn't know how to use it. Same thing with clippers. In California, we give my barber students clippers, our cosmetology students clippers, but everything they're taught on the clinic classroom floor is scissors over comb, scissors over comb. Again, the instructor didn't know how to use the guards, didn't know how to use the lever, didn't know how to use clippers. Now they never show the students how to use it. Now the kids have another set of tools they don't know how to use because their instructor didn't know how to use a pair of clippers. So tools are there to make your job easier, and there's a reason why they're created, right? If you look at these two texturizers, right, they're different. My barbers think, texturizers. I'm like, no, dude, they're not. They do different stuff. Like this one versus this one. What do you notice the difference between these two?
Teeth are bigger.
Yeah, bigger spacing, less spacing. These two texturizers are designed to do two different jobs. This one's designed to soften and blend, and that's it. This one will not create any texture no matter how many different ways I try to use it because the teeth are too tight together. This one will do the complete opposite. This one will create visual texture and put space in the hair. This will not soften and blend. Again, two different tools, two different jobs. So if my job is I want to create texture, I'm not going to grab a blending scissor or softening scissor because I don't want to blend or soften. I want to create texture. So I'm going to pick up this one here. And how I'm going to use it is I'm going to come in and I'm gonna come in, and I'm gonna do it this way. So I'm gonna come in, and I'm gonna point cut with my texturizers this way. Always on dry hair though, right? Because if you texturize wet hair or even scissor over comb on wet hair or damp hair, what's gonna happen is the hair is gonna stick together. You're cutting more than what you think you're cutting off, and then when you go to dry it, you end up doing it again anyway. So I try to do it always on dry hair. And you got to be aware of, if I want the hair to move forward, I got to be aware of which direction I'm coming in at, right? Short pushes long, so that's why I'm coming in for this way for the entire top. I'm not going to come over here and do this, because now the short is going this direction, and the long hair is going to be covering up all that texture, and I'm not going to see anything, right? So if you want the hair to flow in a direction, the short hair has to be pushing the long hair in the direction that you want it to move. So like the short hair, right, is here and it's pushing it forward, so it's going to want to flow better in that direction. If you were going to want to wear his hair back, now it's going against it.
Does anyone use a swivel other than the ones that already know to use a swivel? Shit. Here, catch. That first scissor we passed around 4 weeks ago, we came out with it in the swivel as well. We just haven't sent it.
So I see you're not using swivel, when he is talking about swivel, is there?
You either like swivels or you don't. There's not like an in between.
It's like, do you have green messages or blue messages?
I hate it so much.
Right, that's why I was
I'm not a fan of them.
No offense to them or the users, but I picked them up and I was like, oh, dude, why is this moving so much?
My thumb feels hammered when I put it in there. Dude. I'm like, I don't know what's drunk thumb all of a sudden.
Why am I cutting sideways?
There's a learning.
The cool thing with these, oh sorry, go ahead. The cool thing with all of our texturizers, they're all rounded and hewed out on the bottom. Benefit of that is the hair won't get stuck. So I'm able to come in, right? And you can come in from the top and do this. You can close and carve out. Close and carve out. Right, and the hair's not gonna get stuck in that corner. Because if I were to close with the square scissor and try to pull, the hair, this is gonna come in, the hair's gonna push in the corner, it's gonna stick, and the client's gonna feel it, right? So this is great for doing all that. So right now I'm just coming in through the top or through the side. Same thing on this side. This side's a little bit heavier. Come in.
Because you can't. No, once it closes, it's closed.
Another way you can use it is if you want to remove length and texture at the same time, scissor or comb with it.
Yeah, those things are pretty powerful. Nice.
I use these in every single one of my cuts. Men, women, bobs, crops, all of it. What I'm looking for from the front, I don't know if you guys see me keep going to the front, is I'm looking for what a silhouette looks like. Like it's not like take all this, and I don't even look at none of this right now. I just want to make sure that this and this look the same, right? Can you look up? That runs perfectly with this size. All right, I'm going to work the back. Questions on the front on this part right now?
So one big thing I've always had trouble with, especially in the back, like I want to kind of like layer the mullet more to add that texture versus just chopping off length, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so in the back, since I'm going such short to long, right? I want to pick a tool that's going to help me do that job better. So for the back, I'm going to be using more of my slide cutting scissors. So this scissor here is HH1, right? This is great for anytime you're cutting this kind of style, right? Because what happens is this scissor, as you close it on hair, since the blades curve in opposite directions, right? The hair is going to push. So your cutting line's always going to be coming more of a tapered type. It goes from short to long. It's always gonna look like this. It won't ever look flat. So this, anytime you're cutting curly hair or hair that loops around in a curl, it lets the curl balance out. So the curls come into more of like a freshly sharpened pencil versus a not sharpened pencil. Anytime I'm doing any type of carving, slicing, face framing or anything like this, this is I'm using because I don't have to do any of the pumping anymore. Because usually when we slide or carve out hair, we're taught to do this. You take it and you literally come in and you go. You do it in your hand, right, and come in this way, right? But this motion is called incising. In our head, we're thinking we're creating a nice little scoop, but really, since we're closing and closing, we're creating like more of like a pixelated C because we're constantly going. This one, you don't have to open and close anymore. I mean, you don't have to pump the shear. You can literally come in. And it just whittles it to like a tiny little point, yeah. So this scissor here, I used to love with cutting razors. Any of you guys like cutting razor cutting, right? I used to love with cutting razors. I used to like how when the client came back how it looked. It looked very frizzy, angry, very mad, right? And the reason why it was mad because think about it. If I take a piece of a hair, like if my finger was a piece of hair, and I take a razor and I go like this, whoosh, and I have that nice fat to skinny taper, right? It looks great. But then you send your client off. But if I take this hair now and hold it this way, everything's all exposed because you just left everything exposed, right? And hair is fabric, just like clothing. So if I were to cut the bottom of my shirt and throw it in the washer and the dryer, what happens to the bottom now? Yeah, same thing with the hair. Since you left everything all exposed, as soon as that client goes home and applies hot water, bad shampoo, or bad product, the hair is going to start to swell up, and then it's going to start to peel open, and then that's when it starts to get angry and frizzy looking, right? So this creates the same effect because of the push. So you still get that nice fat to skinny, but since there's two blades closing, it's sealing everything shut. So less time for the little split ends to happen. Does that make sense? So I'm going to come in, middle section. Getting his guide from the front, right? Trying to think the easiest way to do this. It'd probably be down here. I'm going to bring this down or back, and I'm just going to carve into the length that he has right now. There's my guide. So I'm going to close. Then I'll start to work on the back end of my hand. I'll do left side, and then I'll show you the difference in the right side. So again, coming in. I'm just pulling everything directly out. I'm not taking it to the middle, just kind of where it's living. So I'll come in. I'll start it off in front of my fingers this way. Make that first cut, but it's already created that nice C, and then I'll come in, get control of it, and then I'll come in from the back. See, it's just one fluid close. One fluid close. Another one, so two more. Skirt.
What's going on out front,
That guy's all confused, bro. This scissor takes a second to get used to because you got to find that little sweet spot. It's that little belly, right where it kind of starts to curve. That's where you want to close it at. Because when we first get this scissor, we want to like open it up and kind of come in and then it gets stuck. If you open it up too much, the back end is flat, so then it's going to stick and it's grab. So you want to start to right where it starts to curve. That's where you kind of come in and then you really carve. So so if you're moving slow, then move the blade slow. If you're moving faster, you can move the blade faster. So the amount of how fast you're moving determines how fast you're closing this. So, but first you got to find the sweet. It's like cutting wrapping paper. You know when you cut wrapping paper, you find a spot, you kind of glide. So So practice on like a doll head, someone you don't like, before you use it on a real person. Questions, comments? Last one. So now that I have basically the base, now I come in, and this is all visual. So I'm going to come in now.
So this is giving you those short layers that you want to have that texture.
Yeah. So kind of. So I don't want it to just be like short and then like this side. I don't want it to just be short and then all this length. I want it to like kind of flow all the way down. Another tool that you can use, right? If you're not comfortable sliding, you can use a 6T. Again, this it has the most, and how I'll use it this way. I'll pinch and grab and close.
And that does the same thing.
Because those chunkers, how many, I forget what Dave said, he said it only cuts how many hairs out of, I forget.
I don't know that. Justin might know it, yeah.
What is the question?
The percentage of, like, how much hair does this take out?
Okay, here's my thing with percentages, and this is coming from an A-type Virgo with a PhD in chemistry. Stop getting hung up on that. I'm gonna tell you why.
When you're sliding those, are you like closing them all the way?
For these ones or which ones?
Yep.
For these ones, they have to close all the way. So you have to come
leave
in,
it open,
you close, and then you slide. These ones, I'm closing as it's
one fluid motion.
Yeah. So this one you close all the way and then slide. This one you have to slide and close at the same time. It's a little bit learning curve, but.
So percentages. And this, I love it when people ask this question because this is where I'm like, okay, watch it make sense. Whenever someone tries to tell you that a shear takes out a certain percentage, are you always cutting across the grain of the hair?
Yeah.
100% of the time. You're exactly where good, because that's where percentages are calculated. This 50%.
Just curious, there's so many different kinds of chunkers. You know,
This one, 50%. This one, 50%. This one, 100%. That's if I take them all across the grain of the hair. And pitch all of them 90 degrees so they're with the grain of the hair. Each one is 6%. That's it. So I always say don't get hung up on percentages because if you're here, each one's slightly different. Does that
yeah,
kind
because
of
I think the way you explain it is the ones that are the closest and call like the eraser, right? It kind of takes lines out. You kind of do it when it comes to dry hair.
The ones that are like
blending and blurring, soft feather-like finish, doesn't respect length, doesn't knock out weight. Visible texture and movement, creates separation, puts air in the hair, respects length, knocks out weight.
Well, and then there's the real close one.
More, oh, like a 40-tooth blender. That mimics like a clipper.
That's what I think that you're talking about.
40, yeah. So when you start getting more teeth, it's more hair. It's just how it's taken out.
It's like the length of, like the width of like a clipper.
It's exactly like
It's
a
supposed to
clipper.
like mimic a clipper.
I use that when I do haircuts because I don't touch animals, I don't do short hair. But like when I'm pulling
I use those
sections,
all the
pockets blow out on short hair to make the section.
I love it. Those are like my.
I do this on like my wolf pack or whatever. Yeah, it works great. Yeah, I do it on. Yeah. So even if like male or female, like all I'm really doing is just trying to create this black texture, so it works on me. Yeah. You guys use a lot of social media to get clientele and stuff in here? Yeah? What's the way you guys would use social media to get clientele?
What we're doing right now?
Okay.
I post every single day in every single neighborhood group chat around here.
Perfect.
Like the groups, but you know, like everything Riverside.
Oh, yeah.
Almost every single day. I'm posting.
Man, he posted on people's mug shots, his
Yeah,
haircut.
we have a mugshot page.
Yeah.
Like see what crazy hairs get like lots of comments. I'll post my thing. Say
Yeah.
something funny.
Cause usually, like even like how would we get clients before social media?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth, business cards, right? Great. When I went to hair school, there was MySpace, and that was it of social media. My clientele, or my instructors, like, Fern, this is how you get clients when you get out of here. You're gonna take a stack of cards. You're not gonna go home until a stack of cards is passed out, and it works, right? But you try to go give out a stack of cards now. The kid's gonna look at you like, what do you want me to do with this thing, right?
You'll see them on the ground before you walk away. Well, some of these
Or you
kids
give them to a barber, they're just gonna line them up with it
this?
anyway. So, but anyway, so like.
That's the worst. I know a few people in here using my business cards for lining up.
Well, you give someone a business card, they get someone else's card and put your business card on it.
I mean, it's also business card.
So what I did, instead of me going to like where's everyone hang? Is there a college or like a local area where everyone kind of hangs out around this area?
I mean, downtown. It would be downtown.
Oh, yeah. All over, Dave.
There's got to be like a bar or something, a gym. Is there a gym around here?
Downtown.
All right, so gym. I'll look at the gym. So Planet Fitness, right? There's something right in there. So I look at Planet Fitness on my Instagram, and I'll look at clients that have shorter hair, the kind of hairstyles that I want to do, right? Gym is a great place to get clients because people that go to the gym usually care about how they look, and so it's body and hair. So I look up there, look at those kind of haircuts, and then if I see someone that I want to cut, I just DM them. I'm like, hey, what's up? I just moved into town. If you're ever looking for a barber stylist, my salon's right in St. Parks, or however you want to word it. I hope to hear back from you soon. However you want to shoot your shot, right? You just send the DM, right? And then now you're passing out your card online. Now you're giving that card out, so the client calls you back or whatever. And then because I don't like referrals or walk-ins, because sometimes the door open, that person has gnarly hair, and then all of a sudden you're just kind of just like trying to like not see them, but then they start walking towards your chair and like, hey, so and so referred me to you. And you're like, bro, why did that guy refer me this person? Now you're mad at your friend for them referring you that person, and now you're stuck in a service that you don't enjoy doing. And then all of a sudden this turns into work, and it turns into work, and now you're not having fun anymore because you're doing something that you don't want to do. So now, you go out and you pick your own clients. So this stays fun because you're doing the kind of haircuts, and then you look at your social media. Do you guys look at your brand, your social media as your brand?
Yeah.
Right? And you want your brand to look attractive, so you start looking for attractive people to put on your page. You're not looking for busted up people to put on your page. You want good-looking people, models, good-looking hair, the kind that you like doing. And then if you want your brand to look expensive, go buy an expensive camera, gives you expensive pictures. Now the pictures look expensive, good-looking people, so it all kind of flows together, right? And then from there, hit up salons and barbershops, right? So, I always tell people, like, if I have a salon or barbershop, don't tag the client in the picture, because if people like me are down the street, and I just DM the client, like, yo, if your stylist can't get you in, or barber can't get you in, my shop's right next door, I got you, type of thing. So, but everyone's like, Fern, you're a client stealer, but it's like a relationship. If they're gonna cheat, they're gonna cheat. You can't do anything about it. So that's kind of how life is. What do you guys think back? Right, a lot better, more layers, not so just lengthened, so kind of all flows down, yeah? And then again, that was all just done through more, I'll call it more visual cutting. There's not it wasn't so structured like the top. It was very more organic. I kind of just came in, went with it, right? So that's where this scissor comes into play. For my haircutters, they're more, the cut hair more, do any of you guys cut hair like that? I just kind of let the hair kind of talk to me. I just kind of pick up what needs to be cut. This is a scissor that you guys would fall in love with, to be the HH1. My technical haircut is it has to be very structured, lines, boom, boom. This is a scissor that I fall in love with, it's an HHP. So again, this one's designed to create hard lines, soft lines. Zero push, meant to push. So again, they both do two different things, but they both do two different end results. Questions on any of this? No? So I'm gonna go in and start. Are you cool if I taper in the sides?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. I got tattoos I haven't seen in a long time. So I mean, so.
You remember what they are?
No. I be forgetting. I got tattoos sometimes, to be honest with you.
You got tattoos?
Huh? I found them. What? No, look, I had somebody convinced to get a plank on their face the other day at that shop. Yeah. We had a tattoo kind of flash sale, and that thing, it was 24 hours nonstop. We was at this damn shop.
Still open, no guard. I'm gonna create another guide underneath. Then I'm gonna come in half guard, open. So I haven't played with the lever at all yet. I'm just setting everything up for my blend. I don't know, it's just how it's taught to just do it.
So you go in a row like 0 to half to 1 to 1.5, so you build up rather than building down.
Yeah, so right now this is a 1.5 guard. So then I basically just want 1.5 guard just to remove all the weight, so that way I can see what I'm blending. Because if I would have went in just straight trimmer or straight with this open, I have the light coming down and I can't see what I'm doing because I'm kind of in the dark now. So now it just lets all the light in and I'm able to see. So half all the way open. I'll close it 2 clicks. Start to work my way down. All the way closed. Then I'll put on my 1. Open. Go about a finger higher. Close it 2 clicks. Blend down. All the way closed. And I think that's what it is when it comes to barbering or fading. Like every barber fades different. And I just tell my students, like, you're gonna learn how to fade. You're probably only gonna take one little thing from me. You're gonna take another thing from another instructor, because like all 4 of us instructors fade differently, right? And then what happens is I say every barber develops their own pattern. Basically, as soon as you find your pattern, then you do that over and over again, and then it goes. Then you start going on autopilot. But it takes a minute to figure out what the pattern is. But 1.5 open now. Blend down 2 clicks. All the way closed. And then from here, I'll go into clipper over comb.
Clipper over comb with a 1.5 going on?
Yeah, so that's what I left off at. If I would have left off at the 1, then I would have then had my 1 on. But this saves my barbers a lot of time. Sometimes they would clip over comb with nothing on, and then what happened a lot of times, especially my newer ones, they'd come in and they do this, and then all of a sudden, boom, then they have like, and then they're like, man, now we have this whole workout over again. So now I have to keep the guard on, so now they're not going to create anything. Now all they have to worry about is this. And it takes their hand, they don't have to worry about
They're
what
not
this
going
is
to
doing
take too
no more.
much.
And it just saves some time. They get the slides off faster.
Yeah. Do you use all of them like that, Fern? Because do you use all the clipper guards like that when you, like, because I like the 0, or I like the half and then the 1. I feel like they cut the best.
Yeah.
Coming out.
Same thing, yep.
Okay.
But even like, if I want to remove weight or bulk, right? What's the technique you have to do when it comes to even long hair or short hair? Like right now I want to start to remove all this weight. If I want to remove weight in hair, what do I have to do it? What technique?
Layer it.
Layer it. And in order to create a layer, you have to elevate hair. What degrees are higher?
42, 30.
90 or higher, yeah? So, right now, is this hair being elevated at 90 or higher?
Yeah.
No, it's not, because this hair is being elevated down. The hair is being brought down, and I'm just coming across. So I'm actually building weight right now. But if I want to remove weight, I come in this way, and then I'll come up vertically. So when I come up vertically, what's happening is I'm taking the hairs to 90 or higher, and then it starts to diminish all that weight. But that's all happening. So I remove bulk horizontally, because the hair's all coming down. So if I want to, but once I get to that spot where I like it, and then I want to move the weight, then I'll come in. You come in this way, you come in this way, but you're always coming in up versus horizontal. Does that make sense? Questions, comments? Do you guys like the guard thing or no?
It's probably a new thing for pretty much all of us. We've all kind of just clippered over comb.
Yeah.
We never really added a guard.
No
in that
guard,
space.
open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It gives more of a softer kind of blend, I feel like. It's a lot faster though for me.
I was about to say, a lot of us was kind of just like taught on like, don't put guards on, to be honest with you. So
Okay, gotcha.
that's a big thing.
It's a
Not
relief.
anything against guards, because we kind of all branched off and started using guards after barber college and
Yeah.
during barber college, but
Well, one of my instructors, she was the same way. She's like, real barbers don't use guards. And I was like, well, show me a fade that looks good without a guard.
Yeah,
it looks as blended as a guard. And she couldn't find one. She couldn't do it.
100%. I could say I've done it with like a smaller guard, like half guard, one guard, but I never thought to go up. You know, like you leave off a 4 on the bridle, come in with that same thing over top of it. I'm sure it would be really nice.
The old flip fade.
I feel like they're heavy. Like when I did a thing. Do you guys learn off the Milady's book? Which book was it? The gray one or the
Gray.
Huh? So I did that one, the gray one. My hands are on the cover of that. If you have that book here, I'll show you like that.
I don't think I have one. But
Yeah. So they flew me out to New York to go do the haircuts, and then but the thing is, Milady's didn't want me to use guards for the haircut, so I had to use. So that was my very first haircut doing detachables, and it was like, I was scared to do it, but I was like, whatever. So but I did it. It worked out. But yeah, bro, I don't like cutting. I don't like cutting with.
I've never used detachables in my life, for real. Really? Yeah, never. I've heard a lot.
Detachables?
Yeah, I started with the Oster, and I wanted that little clicker to see what it was all about. Because I'm cosmetology, I can't really teach us too much.
Yeah.
I've always heard it.
I don't want to block everyone.
And it's so even. I've noticed the difference between my plastic guard.
So you're obviously a JRL ambassador, but do you really like the JRL clippers and stuff that you use?
Yeah, out of all the machines that I use, I've tried all of them. Again, these I feel like they're the best ones. So what happens is like, if you ever want to work for a brand, well, first you got to use a brand whatever you're trying to work for. So before even I started working for a JRL, I was using these because I was like, everyone's like, do you work for a clipper company? I was like, no, I just use what I like, and right now it's these. And then so I started making videos, and then I tagged JRL one of them, and then they're like, have you tried our, and I think it was like a blow dryer. I was like, no. And so I used a blow dryer, and then they're like, they're like, are you affiliated with any clipper company? I was like, no. And they're like, can we send you a care package? And I was like, yeah. So they sent me a box of clippers, and I used them. And then they're like, do you want to do education for us? And I was like, I'll try it. Like I didn't really do too much like barbering stuff with brands, right? So I didn't really know how it worked. And I did a show premiere in Orlando with them, and they liked how I taught, and then so they just kept me on board, and then that's kind of how that all worked out.
That's what I use.
Do you
They're the best.
adjust your trimmers or anything, or those straight out the box?
Out of the box, yeah. But it comes with a tool to adjust them, because sometimes they do get knocked around from shipping and stuff.
Honestly, just got some JRL trimmers, and even if you look at the specs to them, they're one of the most powerful trimmers on the market right now, to be honest. They mow through things a lot. I'm more kind of bulk trimming sometimes, and I'll even use my trimmers to kind of like take down some fades, just kind of skimming on outside.
Yeah.
How strong they are, it just really kind of helps a lot.
They have two adjustments too, don't they?
Yeah. A little adjustment, be a little softer. I usually just go, finish the balls to the wall. Double clicker, you know what I mean? Like,
Do you ever use the lower speed on the JRLs?
No.
Yeah, I don't.
that's what I'm about to say. It's one of
I
those
don't
things
either.
you just push that lever all the way and you go with it.
It's meant to do like if you're ever cutting damp hair, I guess you said it slows it down for it not bogging up, but I don't use it.
I like the blend.
I don't cut hair damp anyway, so.
So why do you use the lower speed?
I feel like it blends.
The what?
Detail
What's the
work,
point of having it?
detail work,
I don't use it.
busting out little lines and stuff like that, but I have it on my TPOBs and I never use it.
Never.
How do you liking those clippers? Like, everyone uses those now. And they're cheap, right?
Or I got him
Real
one.
cheap. They're good.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy's a genius, bro. Like he came out, just got everyone's attention by talking so much, and all of a sudden everyone knew who he was.
Yeah. He's getting ready to drop his version of the Andy's Masters in like 2 months. And they're the same shape, just like he put them next to each other on a scale, and they're like half the weight, but just as much power. And I'm like,
Cause did you guys know who he was when he was like? Cause he used to be super bad, bro. He used to like, he got banned for Instagram for a long time, and then he came back, but. He was gnarly. He was calling out barbers. He would research them. Be like, look at this guy liking all these photos of this chick and blah blah. Just he's married. Just like bad.
Did he? I didn't know that. Yeah, no.
Some kids.
Wait, I do kind of remember that.
Yeah, dude used to work at the Heights. Yeah, with like researching them and shit.
They like.
Kids are all like that.
What's up,
Tommy.
Well, Tommy would talk shit on the internet. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's why I was like, man, I don't know if most of this dude when I do the plays. I was like,
Yes.
yeah, you know.
Because Rory was slicing out that hair.
Yeah.
Dude, Rory was like trigger, bro.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of blending on the side now. Again, blender. I didn't use this one yet. Again, tighter teeth, the more blended, less the texture. So I'm gonna come in now. Most barbers already have it. You guys have a blending shear already in your kit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are those the
You're
40
sleeping on your
keys
craft if you don't.
that you're using?
The 44s.
44s,
Yeah.
okay.
Because I do men and women, so that I'm able to use them both. If I was just strictly only doing guys, I'd be using the 40.
I have the 40. I love
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
Those are awesome scissors.
But now we have the 40 in high carbon, which is even better. So it's called the 44T2.
Okay.
Yeah. Right? Isn't the 44 the 44T2 is the same as a 40 but just in high carbon?
I think it has 38 teeth versus 40.
Oh, okay.
And then the teeth are curved, they're not straight, so it's going to be softer. Anything with curvature is going to be soft. We count. 1, 2, 3.
Crazy. Corey has them.
So I have a question about the relaxer on the cowlick.
Yeah.
How much do you know to put on here? Do you like saturate it?
I put like maybe just like the amount that I put on my toothbrush, that much. Just boom, throw it on there. Because you only got to saturate that little area.
Right.
Yeah, so it's only just that surface. So I'm not like going through and like taking section by section. It's just literally I'm just from the top down, just smashing it all down and just relaxing it. So maybe the amount of toothbrush, how much you put on a toothbrush.
Do you have one that you like to use?
I just use Paw Pitcher one because I can use it straight out of the container. But I'm sure there's other brands out there that you can do the same thing.
I can do that like on the front cowlick as well.
Yeah, for the front, you can really come in through the front, relax that front part down. Maybe just do the first just do the first inch. Because this area, you still want to cover it, so you're not going to see it, but you'll still be able to kind of lay down.
What kind of price point would you use for like for that little like spot treatment?
60?
60.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How many steps does the
It's just you apply it and then you just shampoo it out. So the shampoo neutralizes it, does all that for you. Clarifying shampoo.
clarifying shampoo?
Wait, Ryder's Corey slide cutting or what hair though?
What is it?
Rory.
Ricky does it too. At first it like freaked me out, and then I realized I don't touch animals. I don't do short hair.
Yeah.
When I slide cut, it's always on long hair.
Uh-huh.
A short hair, I mean, we're talking like what, an inch? It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, pissed off barber just like ripped him to shreds. Rory was like, he was in the corner.
I won an award from him one time. Yes.
For Rory?
No, for the pissed off barber. He's like just talking, you know how he does, but he's like, I'm gonna create the awards for, and he just named stupid awards, and
Yeah.
he gave them to like barbers. So I won like the section got him for barbers is Fern the barber. And
Fern, with that fringe, were you more like thinking about texturizing it, or you cutting it more blunt?
more blunt, yeah, and then I'll come in and I'll slide cut it a little bit.
Okay.
So I was wrong, it doesn't have 38 teeth, it has 28.
28?
It's 28.
That's a lot of teeth to be off by.
Hey, look, I can't count with numbers.
You ain't got that many fingers and toes for sure.
I'll borrow some. Keep them in my backpack. I told my son the other day, I was like, look, bro, you need thicker skin. You need some extra. I got it in the basement. He's like, oh,
extra skin in the basement.
I was telling my son, I was like, stop getting your feelings hurt, you little. I was like, you need thicker skin.
Yeah.
I was like, and if you need some, I've got some in the basement.
But not her jokes, now you got skin in the face.
What's the lotion in the bucket?
You ever use
Yeah,
any
he's ready to
texture
pick,
powder and
huh?
stuff like that, Fern?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna put in his hair right now. Yeah, some?
Yeah. Somewhere around here.
Got some of my station going.
You can grab that one right there.
I know there's some around, but maybe nothing in there? All right.
Ours is a little worse.
Look, he's Korean powder right now, dude.
Do you need more?
What's the word?
You need more? Just shake it underneath.
Huh?
It's alright.
So the back. I could taper the back actually, real quick. Yeah, let me taper the back out. Totally forgot about that.
It honestly hides under there pretty well.
I'll do the same steps again, 1.5 open. So again, my pattern is always the same.
Do you have a spot like under the ear you like to go for? Or do
I
you-
usually try to stay right below this little bone right here, the occipital bone.
Would you keep it more square or you don't round it?
I try to keep it more flat.
Okay.
'Cause if I round it, sometimes I'll bring it up too high and then I end up having to do more of like a fade rather than taper.
Okay.
That's just the open, right?
Yeah. So open, nothing on, and then my next step will be the or the half guard open, and then blend down. Anything else you guys want to ask before I finish this up?
I think we're all down.
Did you guys kind of take something away from this?
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a time saver for sure, dude.
I think the angling of like the clipper when you like angled into the mullet to create the layers, that was probably my most informative part.
That triangle.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the
say-
industry for quite some time and I've never even thought to do that, so that was kind of a good thing to see.
And someone said the triangle sections?
Yeah, that is, I'm so bad at like sectioning hair off and stuff, I just was never taught how to do that.
I like how you go in with those chunkers, how you go in that short hair pushes that long hair, depending on, like you said, what way you kind of, project it, yeah, and angle.
Yeah, just being aware of where that's flowing at. So if I want the hair to flow forward, you want to make sure the shorts, the
Yeah.
triangles are going in this direction. If you want the hair to go back, then I would be, let's say he's doing a slick back or a brush back or a side part. The exception is I don't go anything past the front though, because if I come in and I'm coming in this way, think about it. If I'm coming with my scissors, shorts along, if I go past the front hairline, now I have all these short hairs that just stick up. So I leave about 2 fingers is like my rule, and then I won't go anything past that if they're gonna do it backwards
Okay.
or to the side. Yeah.
Nice, no, thank you.
Yeah, but usually like a complete set of scissors is always 4. You'll have like a basic workhorse shear. I think it's important that every barber has a blending scissor and a texturizer because again they're doing both. And then a slide cutter. Pretty much all 4 scissors you can do anything that walks in that door.
I wish in the beginning I would have had better tools to start off with, when it comes to the Hanzo shears, just the program and stuff they have, when it comes to a lot of the stuff they offer.
Yeah, bro. A lot of stylists didn't even know that they existed.
Yeah, I didn't even know they existed until it came through my doors. and just what comes with it.
I mean, that's a cool thing with our shears also is like, or even with our classes, like every artist uses them different. Every artist, like you see me use the 13T or the 6T different than another one. So every class you'll learn something, like a different trick usually. But I remember when I got introduced to this brand, I didn't know anything about Hanzo. I just know the name sounded familiar from Mortal Kombat. Other than that, I didn't know anything about it. And I'm in my suite cutting hair one day, and my local rep comes in. He's like, "Hey, Fern, if I ever leave a pair of scissors with you for a week, would you be willing to just use them and let me know, like give me some feedback on them?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro, leave them on the counter." So leaves them on the counter. He was gone. He was there for like maybe like, I don't know, less than a minute, right? And I'm the kind of person that believes like your word in life is your credit score as a human being. And I want my credit to be 100 with everyone. So I try my best to like follow through with whatever it is that I'm doing. I try to like be real with everyone. So like if I said I'm gonna use them for a week, I'm really gonna use them for a week and let me know what I think about them. So I used them, and then obviously I liked them, but 1 week turns into a month, right? The guy never comes back. I'm like, sheesh, I just came home on a brand new pair of scissors. This guy probably forgot where he left them at. But then eventually shows up. He's like, "Hey, what do you think of the shears?" And I was like, "I like them." I was like, "Can you give me a little bit more information about them?" Meaning like, how much are they? He's going over like the lifetime warranty, education, what they're made out of, everything but price. I was like, "Yeah, bro, but how much are they?" He's like, "The ones I was looking at, they let me use were $1,200. I was like, "Here you go. That's a lot of money, but thank you. I did appreciate them." And he's like, "No. You don't have to pay it all up front. We do payments with no interest." And I was like, "Well, right now my credit's not that great." And he's like, "We don't even do a credit check. You just give me 10% down." And I was like, "All right, what would my payments look like?" He's like, $141 a month. I was like, "All right, $141 a month. If I work 5 days a week, 20 days a month, that's maybe $5 I'd have to come extra to make this bill," which I know I can afford because I spend $5.65 every single day on a venti cold brew from Starbucks. So I'm not trying to give up my coffee to buy shears. So how I bought mine was I would go to the shop, whoever was first on my books, I'd do the hair, they would tip me, and I just set that aside. Next day, first client of the day, tip me, set aside. At the end of the month, I had more than enough to make my payment, and that's something on my first pair. My second, now I'm up to 5. But Hanzo saw a pattern. People would build their kits how I built mine. They would buy their scissors one at a time, and it took them 4 years to build the kit. So Hanzo's like, what if we just give them what if we give them the whole set at one time, and we'll just keep the payments down as if they were going to buy the one. Because when you buy one shear, they only give you 4 to 6 months to pay it off. When you buy the set, you get longer to pay it off, and payments get smaller, and that's how that works. So
that's how he got me with Christmas. Buy 3, get 1 free.
Right, and the amount of savings you save,
yeah,
one ends up being free, and that's how that all works out. But it is cool. It is expensive, and it's scary though, the investment, because like even me, I had to buy my own scissors. They didn't give me one of those books that Justin has. Hey, go sell these scissors. Like I actually bought all those just like how everyone else buys them, right? So it's scary, but I like the fact that Hanzo gives us 2 little safety nets. The first safety net is they give you that 2-week trial period, right? So you have 2 weeks to try them, right, and see if you really like them or not, right? So you can cut. So the day you get them in the mail, you have 2 weeks to cut as much hair as you want with them, and then if you like them, then you keep them. Welcome to the family. If you don't, you send them back. You get your 10%. You get your full 10% back. Thank you for trying us. But at least you get that the opportunity to try them. You know what I mean? And let's say you do like them, but you're like, I wish I would have got them in a swivel. I wish I would have got them longer. I wish I would have got the blenders versus the texturizers. You have 30 days, 60 days. You have 30 days to exchange them. So there's 2 little safety nets that you have, which is really cool. Again, because they are expensive, and we don't want them just sitting in your drawer and then you're mad at us for selling you something that you don't even use. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're really nice to work with. Actually, I started off with a 5.5, and I went into 6, and it was nice.
Bro, I do have a question about the Hanzo shears.
Yes.
So, and this might be a silly question, but I own 4 pairs of Hanzos.
Okay.
I've had them for a long time. Is there a reason why my shears don't stay sharp very long? And what am I doing?
Well, one.
Are they here?
They're not here. I didn't bring my shears with me, but I have 4 pairs.
Are they shiny?
I have 2 of the high carbons, and then I have 2 of the regulars. I have a 7-inch, a 6.5 high carbon. I got the 40 Ts, and then I have the high carbon, bigger texturizer shears. And I get them sharpened all the time.
Through us?
Through my rep that comes through.
Jay?
Through us, yeah.
We have a dude named David. And he's a super nice guy and everything, man, but I just feel like, man, they'll be awesome for like a month, maybe I get a couple months out of them due to
Yeah.
that, and then they're dull, they're bending hair, they're not cutting.
Okay, right there it is. How many haircuts are you doing a day?
I usually average like 15 a day,
You need-
15,
you need
sometimes
something
more.
that's gonna be a
Sometimes.
denser steel, so you're high carbon. The second thing, why there's bending hair, as long as you're not a messy barber, or style, you're not just yeeting them onto the counter and getting nicks in them, you're taking care of them and take care of you, but the reason you start bending hair is you have to adjust the tension.
What do you think,
Right,
dude?
and
Oh, can't
and there's
see
like
it.
a thing to do where like
Yeah.
you open them and they fall at a certain spot. I just don't know if it's like something that I'm doing that's just making
Well,
it.
part
Because
of
the
it
dude,
is-
all they tell me is like, well, you just cut a lot of hair, man.
You cut a lot of hair.
You just cut a lot of hair, and it just doesn't
Lay
seem
down.
like that's a real
You
thing.
need, here, no, it's 100% a real thing. I have stylists, when I was a rep like David is, in sport clips. And that's a haircutting factory. They're doing 20 haircuts a day. And these girls didn't want to spend money, so they're using wet cutting shears, right? Spend $1,200 on 2 scissors. And I'm going in to see them every month because they're doing 20 haircuts a day, 5 days a week, 4.5 weeks a month. I'm like, bro, the reason you have to see me so much, and it finally dawned on me, like, I like you guys, but I don't want to hang out. It's ridiculous.
It's a style.
Yeah.
You have to get a denser steel for that longevity. But part of it, while it's bending, the tension is gonna get loose when they come back from sharp.